Welcome to day 10 of the Never Give Up 10-Day Marketing Challenge. Yes, yes, yes. We have made it to day 10. Can you guys, if you guys can hear me, first of all, if you can hear me, drop a number one in the chat. Drop a number one in the chat. I want to make sure that we are fully connected. I know you can't see me just yet. I know you can't see me just yet. Almost. We almost there. But at least if you can hear me, drop a number one in the chat. Let us know. I hope we're all set. I hope you guys have had an amazing day. Listen, for some of us, whew, how many guys be taking naps in the day? Because y'all know our first session started at 6 a.m. We be lit at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yes, we do. But I had to take me a quick 15-minute nap today. I had one of those, I needed one of those power naps. Because it caught up with your girl today. But we are here nonetheless. We have an amazing guest today. I cannot wait to introduce you to my girl. And it's going to be good. It's been good all week, but it's definitely going to be good tonight. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you are ready. I hope you're ready because, and I hope y'all brought some questions too. Okay. I hope you brought some questions. All right. So let's see what you guys are saying. Let's make sure everything is everything. All right. All right. Let's see. All right. Good, good, good. So now, you guys should be able to see me. If you can see me, go ahead and drop a number two in the chat. If you can see me, drop a number two in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. Hey, 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 everyone. We made it to day 10. Welcome. All right, I see ones. I see one. There we go. I see the two. So we are ready. If this is your very first time joining us live, I'm your girl, Katrina Nicole. Yep, that is Nicole and not Nickel. It is Nicole. I get it all the time. So I had to let y'all know. I had to say it out loud and proud because I didn't know, especially when y'all see me in public, y'all got to say it right because your girl gonna be looking crazy. But no, thank you guys so much for joining us for the Never Give Up 10-Day Marketing Challenge. We always start this off like this didn't exist a couple weeks ago. God literally gifted us this platform and this amazing challenge to pour into entrepreneurs all over who have just may have just needed this information, but more importantly, for those of you who've been struggling and you needed to be connected to the right things, you needed to be able to start doing the right things so that you can start getting the best things in return. Yes. Hey, everyone. Hey, Precious. Hey, Katana. Hey, Kizzy. Hey, Arica, Selena, Donna, Nicole. Woo, Tiffany. Oh, so many of you guys. So many of you guys are on here. Danielle, Selena, Shantae. Welcome, everybody. But again, thank y'all for hanging out with your girl. If you have made it, oh, Lakeisha, got your girl. Can't forget you. Ivory, all you guys are coming on. So, but it's too many. I can't say everybody's name right now. But we love you. Thank you for being here. So, if you have made it all 10 days so far, if you made it all 10 days, let us know in the chat. Let us know if you made it all 10 days. If you made it all, if you made it 8 or 9, that's basically 10. So let us know that you made it those days because again, we didn't even know we was doing this, right? So for you guys to join me, our top 100 of you guys, join me in saying yes and showing up for yourself not only once a day for 10 days straight. You showed up for 10 days straight in the morning and at night. We have our morning sessions at 6 a.m. And then we had our night sessions anywhere from 7 to 9 o'clock at night. So thank you guys for just even just saying yes. Right. You always thank me for my yes, but I thank you guys for your yes. Okay. So now listen, tonight is going to be gooder and gooder. Yep, I said it, gooder and gooder because I got my girl in the house. And so a lot of you guys have been hearing us talk about the terms of copywriting, copy, messaging, all those things. And some of you guys were like, what is copy? Like, what does that mean? And what is that? And guess what? I got the copy queen in the house today. So she has worked with some of the biggest names that you guys know out there. Y'all probably follow some of these people's podcasts. Some of these people she's worked with, y'all probably wake up to in the morning. They may be your morning motivation. We're gonna just keep it like that, okay? However, this girl is so dope. She was the first person I ever invested in to help me with my messaging, right? And so when I tell you she is the bomb.com, she's the bomb.com. What she wrote for me, how she helped me with my own campaigns, I was like, how are you speaking my language? How can you? That sounds like me, right? And that's what it's supposed to be, right? And so she did that for me. And listen, we've been connected ever since. I promise you, you would think that we hang out every day, but we actually never have met in person just yet. But again, I'm so thankful that she's here today. And I want to bring my girl to the stage. If you guys are ready, type ready in the chat. If y'all are ready, go ahead and type ready in the chat. But I'm about to bring my girl to the stage, Miss Sierra Seay. Sierra, are you there?
That was a really nice introduction.
You know how I do. You know how I do.
That was dope.
Listen, I was telling them, I'm like, first of all, listen, how we connected on
Yeah,
Zoom and on live and phone calls online, you would have thought we done hung out before, but we
yeah,
have never
sure.
officially met each other in person yet, right?
For sure, for sure. It's I got so many relationships like that online. It's like we might as well just hang out.
We might as well. Like, I was gonna book a flight because
Yeah,
were you in Detroit? Where are you
yep,
located?
yep. Detroit.
Yeah, she's all the way in Detroit, Michigan. I got a sis in Detroit, Michigan. Period.
Yep.
So, but thank you again for joining me today and for saying yes to pouring into the audience.
I'm excited. I can't wait. I hope they got questions, but I'm excited.
Yeah, so y'all, I hope y'all got your pen and paper ready because again, she is just the bomb with messaging and copy and all the things. And we're going to get into that because again, I know some of this is new to for some of you, but for some of
Mhm.
you, y'all probably need to hear the real, right? And so she's open to sharing it all today. So first of all, Sierra, how did you even get into copywriting in the first place?
So interesting story. I was a journalism and advertising major at Michigan State. I wanted to be a hip hop journalist, and I dabbled in it for a while. I actually have
Mhm.
bylines with like Double XL, The Source, some of those bigger magazines from back in the day. But in the
Mhm.
advertising class, they talked about copy. At this particular time, it was more magazine, newspapers, but it was a different form of writing. And they used to always say every great advertising campaign started with copy, and I was like, huh. And
Mm,
that was the first time I heard about it. The light bulb went on, and it just kind of like spiraled from there, to be honest. But that's how I got into it. Start buying books, started doing stuff pro bono, just testing, figuring
gotcha.
stuff out. Yeah, and it just kind of exploded like 2015 ish. Yeah, definitely. Right.
Wow, wow. So you have wrote for some of the biggest names out here.
hmm
And I was like, oh, my girl is really about that life. So how was that getting I mean, you started around 2015-ish, and then you started working and helping individuals in that lane. Like, how did you even start connecting with those types of individuals?
So I always tell people every one of those opportunities came from me, number one, investing in myself. So I either joined their community or hired them for something, but I never joined their community or hired them like as a way to work with them. It was like, so I
Mm,
joined to fix a problem that I have. So I'm in the process of fixing my problem, or and then I'm looking and I'm seeing what gaps they have in their system, and I'm literally
gotcha.
just adding value. And then, obviously you add value on the front end, it works. Now they're like, okay, let's keep talking. But every single one of the bigger names, so I'm not afraid to say the names anymore. I used to be like, I don't like saying it, but so I worked with ET, the hip hop preacher, for 5 years. I joined his personal development community, and he actually was my counselor at Michigan State. So we had somewhat of a relationship already, but still,
Mhm.
I told him like, hey, this is what's missing with what you're trying to do with this community. He gave me the opportunity, I ran with it. David Shantz joined his community, told him the same thing, like, hey, you're missing out on, this
Mhm.
additional revenue because you're not doing XYZ. Gave me the opportunity and I ran with it. Even Marquell, I joined CAU because I needed a machine because I was doing everything
Yeah.
like, hands on. I needed a machine, did that, seen some gaps. He's like, if you want to do it, and I just ran with it. So every single
Wow.
other opportunities came from me being connected with those individuals,
Mhm.
but every big person I work with, I actually like paid to be in that space, and I just added value from there on. So yeah.
That was so good. Listen, y'all, that right there, she gave you two major
That was
gems just
never an
now.
ulterior motive though. Never. It was just like I
Yep.
need what you have, but since I'm here, I see how I can help you as well. So
And
yeah.
that's huge. I believe that's so big because number one, you saw a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a problem, and you wasn't afraid to open your mouth and say, "Hey, y'all leaving money on the table. Like I know I have a gift. I
Mm-hmm.
know I have this expertise, or no matter what, I can solve this problem for you."
Yep.
And how many of you guys remember I shared that this morning? This is so funny. Like this is y'all, all y'all keep doing this to me this week. Okay. Every time I talk about something with them at 6 a.m.,
It
y'all
comes back.
literally get on here and just piggyback and confirm it and just hit the nail on the head. But I told them like one of the ways I started my process, I had no clue what I was doing. I would see somebody, I would have a strategy or something, and I would see someone and I would say, "Hey, I believe this will work for you. Now I'm not sure,
Right.
but I'm gonna give it to you. Now, if it works, you gotta let me know. And
Right.
if it don't work, you gotta let me know,
No.
right? And oftentimes it worked, and these people started getting these most amazing results. And but that's what it was. It was us looking and seeing a need and
Mm-hmm.
seeing a problem and coming up with a solution for it, you know. But
Yep.
I love the other part of what you said in that you said also these opportunities came because I invested in myself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
We
Because you said, "Hey, I needed help. I needed help with this." And so I invested, and then the opportunity came my way because I was in the right place at the right time with the right people.
Yep. I do not believe I would have been able to accomplish half of what I've done without first investing in myself. Like community is everything, which is why I love like what you've built and what you continue to build. Because it's one if you want to, if people always say what's the cheat code, that's one of them. Just being
Mhm.
in the right community.
Yeah, that was so dope. And thank you for always like any community I have or whatever I'm doing. You always support, you always show up. I'm like, shoot, she's sometimes active all the way from Detroit more than y'all. Listen, but
That's
no,
true.
no, I'm serious. I definitely appreciate it. Um, in this space. And so, okay. So if you are ready, I know some of you guys just coming in and I saw we was freezing a little bit, but if you can hear me clearly, drop a number 10 in the chat. Drop a 10 in the chat. Let's make sure we're connected all the way. All right. Somebody said pay your way or serve your way. Come on now. I know that's right. And it's crazy. A lot of my people on my team too were clients of mine. A lot of the people that's on my team, a lot of the people that I'm connected with or that have done things with us, those are the people that, either paid to be in our community or served their way into our community. So it is a real thing. So you guys don't sleep on it. All right. So also what we didn't highlight, she said it at the end, but she's also team client attraction university with our homie Andre and Marquel. Y'all remember Andre Gaskin? So Andre is like an honorary member of whatever we're doing.
Ask what day did he come on?
Right, like what day? He come on tomorrow, actually.
For
You already know he was gonna be in here. He was like,
sure.
"Sis, whatever my APs need, whatever the neighbors need." So he'll be here tomorrow, getting them all the way together for Mindset
I
Friday.
hope
But
y'all ready.
listen, because he is not playing with us. He is not
At
gonna play
all.
with y'all at all. And the day was about mindset too. So today we had marketing mindset. Um, so let me ask you. Let's go into some marketing mindset with yourself in regards
Mhm.
to you working with such a high level of individuals. I mean, when I say high level, I mean they are rigorous. They're always working. They're always moving. They're always launching. They're always, growing. Like,
Doing
how
something.
do you prepare yourself now for all that?
So I think starting now, I had a lot of emotion tied to it, but I've learned that you can't really have emotion in marketing. Like you
Mm,
moving based on the data. So like take your emotion out of it. And to be honest, one of the things that I think I've learned over the past 3 years that
mhm.
it may free y'all, like marketing is not matter of fact. Meaning
Write that
nobody can
down.
guarantee that whatever strategy they're giving you is going to work. We literally do not know. It's all testing. But when you're
That's so
when
good.
you're hiring a marketing team or you're hiring marketing people, what you really want to look for is people who know how to make adjustments as you're going. Because
Mhm.
nobody can tell you, yeah, if you do this webinar, you're gonna close. Like don't nobody knows that. Now, what we do have are blueprints that have worked in the past for other clients, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the exact same results. Does it
Right,
happen?
right.
Yes, but it's not matter of fact. Like if it was matter of fact, we all would be somewhere on the beach with our feet up. Things change as the world changes. Your ideal client changes. People buy differently. Even now, people are buying differently than they bought 2 years ago. And
That's right.
I've been preaching this all year to everybody. Like we're going back to what it was pre-pandemic, and I particularly enjoy it because now you got to prove that you can actually solve a problem. Like now
Woo!
that you understand your client's problem. You can't just, slap a landing page up and say go buy it. Those were the good old days, but those are gone. Like you got to put the
Yeah,
work in. So
yeah,
that's one of the things, like taking your emotion out of marketing and understanding that it's not matter of fact. People are quick to say something is a scam because it didn't work and they only tried it one time. That's not really how marketing works, though. It don't really work like that. Some people do
yes.
lightning in the bottle, but you don't know how long that took. That could have been their 50th webinar.
That's
You don't
true.
know that. So it's that I think that perspective is super important.
But I love that because even so, and we've been talking about this APs as far as it being trial and error. I want y'all to type that in the chat. We've been typing that every single day is trial and error, and I love that you confirmed that by saying it's not matter of fact. Like you never know what iteration or version of this, that they're launching. But all you hear them say, because we didn't seen it, is,
Mhm.
"Oh, I just had 100K launch." You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? This is your 50th try, and you talking about you had 100K launch. Now I'm not saying that you didn't, but don't
Right.
act like it's your first one and you coming out the gate that way. And now it's the wrong perspective or perception you're giving to people, and they thinking like, "Oh, if I just hire Katrina and Sierra, then I'm gonna have 100K launch." And that is
Yeah.
not how this goes, right? Because
Oh,
the variables per person are completely different.
it is. It's so many variables, which is that's my love hate relationship with marketing because it's like one small, especially depending on your model too, right? Like figuring out what to change up for each iteration. The data should tell you, but still, it's a lot that goes into it, and I think that's the love part because I get bored fast. You can't really get
Mhm.
bored as a marketer,
Yeah,
like you can't. But the hate is like it's just always one small thing may trigger everything to go up or it may trigger everything to go down.
yeah, yeah. So tell us, like, how did, like, because I watched you evolve. So
Mm-hmm.
I I watched you evolve, and I was like, "Oh shoot, sis she put effort into herself now. Like you was working on making sure all of these brands that you were attached to were successful, and they started hitting 6-figure months, 7-figure years, and things like that. Like I watched you do that,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a fact, right? But then something shift, and I was like, "Oh, I got this email from you, girl. Okay, I see you. Oh,
Right.
let me see what program she got going on. Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Sis out here doing her interviews. She on stages." Like I saw the shift in regards to you beginning to market and brand yourself. So like how did you step into that? And the only reason I'm asking that because there's a lot of people that are listening right now and they work for everybody else. They go all in for everybody else. But when it's time for them to do something for themselves, it's like, I don't know
Oh,
what to do. And the whole mindset shift and they forget, right? How
yeah.
did you shift into that role for yourself?
So once again, the power of community and like having great people around you. I kind of was like pushed. It's like in when I first started doing this, I always said I just wanted to be the rich person sitting behind the keyboard. I didn't want to be known. I didn't want just be low key. Like that was my thought process coming into this. But being around people like Andre, who literally are like, no, like this is,
Mhm.
and even now he still be on me like you still not doing what I want you to do, but this is okay for now. You easy.
He gonna push you if you don't do nothing else.
Right. But I would say the first thing is like being around people who saw something in me that I didn't necessarily see, especially when it comes to the speaking piece. Like I would, if somebody would have told me when I started that I would be teaching this stuff on stages, I'd have been like, "What? Like, no, that's not what copywriters do. Like we on the computer." Um, but yeah, I would say being around those type of individuals and coming out of my comfort zone. So a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks was
Mm,
one that really turned the light bulb on. Like, okay, this is I'm great at this, but like, is it really my zone of genius? Because I never even thought I would be teaching what I do in any capacity. I've been teaching
Wow.
what I do now every week for 4 years, every single week for 4 years. So it's like when people
Wow.
started calling me a speaker, I'm like, well, I ain't no speaker. They like, Dre, like, you teach every week and you've been doing it for years. Like, that's speaking. And
Mhm.
I'm like, huh. So number one, coming out of my comfort zone. Number two, being around people. It's called the Big Leap, Divine. Just being around people who weren't afraid to show me things that I didn't see in myself. You can't operate in a vacuum. So like that would be one thing I would tell all of you: do not operate in a vacuum.
Mm.
Join the
So what do you
community,
mean by vacuum? Like in
like
a
by
closed
yourself.
okay.
Yeah, like no one man is an island. You can't. You're only gonna go so far operating your business or just your life, like in a silo, like by yourself. You're not telling nobody nothing. You're not sharing nothing with nobody. You're not, trying to find ways to grow. You're gonna hit the ceiling, and then you're just gonna keep hitting it, and you're gonna
Mhm.
think it's something else. Well, really, you're not expanding, your environment to even see what's really possible.
I love that. And that's why we were talking about community and allowing people in. We have some people
Mhm.
that have been hurt so much by people in the past to where now when it's on this side, this is when y'all don't give people a chance. Y'all see, I keep giving
Yeah.
people a chance on the other side, right? That don't have nothing to offer you. But now you on this side and you put up those same walls when people listen, we all in the same boat. We're all trying to birth what God has put in us to birth. We're
Hmm.
all trying to, make it to our level of success because what that looks like for us, whether it's wealth, whether it's peace, whether it's being able to spend time with our family, we're all working towards what that may look like.
Hmm.
And the way sometimes we got to get there, and like you say, is being in close proximity with the right people. Because every time, everything you just said kept talking about, you kept mentioning that people,
Yeah.
that was in close proximity to you was the ones that pushed you or helped you get there.
Yeah, it definitely did. And I see Lakeisha said that's what she has to work on. I don't want to say it's hard, but it's just uncomfortable. But
Mhm.
it ain't nothing really good for you in your comfort zone at all. Is it always gonna work out the way you want? Probably not. But I mean, restaurants mess up our orders. We keep going back.
Whoops. I love it.
Just find somebody else to do it. Just find somebody.
I know that's right.
And I think a way to do that is to take humans off these pedestals we have them on, and just give people grace because we all make mistakes. But if you join a
Mhm.
community and they don't answer your email in 24 hours, like it's not a scam. It just may be a break in the system. It's like, you know what I mean? But we see that so much, especially with when people invest into programs or services with our people. Some don't go their way the first day. It's like World War III. And it's like, hold on. Like, let's figure out what actually happened, or where was the breakdown in communication.
Look, well, what problem can you solve? Do you see a gap?
That
Right?
too. Yeah.
Hey, like, hey, I see this gap in your business. Oh, she said the
Uh,
book was The Big Leap. What
the
was the
big
by
Gay
who?
Hendrix. Gay Hendrix.
There we go. Because listen, you can't drop a book title. My people not gonna get it. Okay. You drop a book title, it's like, hold up.
I listen to a couple chapters every single year.
Wow. Yeah, somebody just actually told me about that book too as well. And that's the only one I have not gotten. So I'm gonna get it. Yeah, you gave me a reminder, a much needed
Yeah.
reminder. So appreciate that. So let's talk about we didn't talk about you.
Mhm.
And now we need some of this information because a lot of people don't understand the power in copywriting. So tell
Mhm.
us the power in it. Why is copy or understanding how to fully communicate with the right people in your audience so important for your success?
So it's like I said at the beginning, it's the foundation to everything marketing. Like a lot of people like to start with the logo, with the website, even with the offer, but they don't start off with what do you do and who do you help, or who do you help and what do you do, however you want to phrase it. Most people don't start there. They start with all the stuff that seems fun. That is where you need to start. You need to have a clear picture of who your ideal client is and the problem that you're helping them solve or the transformation you provide. Now, is that easy? Not all the time. And it does take a little bit of work. And I think that's why people run away from it. They'll try to generalize it like, well, I help entrepreneurs. Well, what level? Or I help moms. Well, what kind of mom?
What kind of
Or
moms?
yeah, or like I help women. Well, what kind of women? It is okay to create, some people call it avatar. But to create your ideal client, give them a name. Where do they work? What do they read? Where do they hang out? What is going on in their life today that wasn't going on in their life 2-3 years ago? And once you figure out your ideal client, like literally stalking them. Like I stalk
Oh
people
my
who
gosh.
are my ideal
That's what
client.
we
I
say.
join groups. I go to the conferences. I whatever rooms they're in, those are the rooms I need to be in. And like listening. Like so some people will scroll social media just to scroll. I'm a scroll and I'm gonna read what my ideal clients are saying they got going on in other people's comments. And I learned that from Mighty.
Oh.
I don't know. Have you heard of Mighty Woodward? I'm pretty sure you had the black guy with the dreads who does content.
I think so. Oh, you're talking about yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, Mighty. So he taught me that. He like just look in the comments of what I post. Most of them people your ideal client. He like and just create content based off the questions that they asking. Like there is people giving you the information. We're just not looking for it, or we're not looking for it in that manner. So the reason why copy is so important is because you need to be articulating to them what they're not saying in an effort to prove you can solve their problem. Because most of them aren't going to come out and say it to you, right off the bat.
That's
So
right.
being able to figure out it, if you're a financial coach and you want to, and I'm about to literally make this up, if you want to help millennial women in their 30s become millionaires by their net worth, no matter how much money they make. And I've actually worked with somebody who do this. That's how I made that up. But you have to ask yourself, okay, if I'm a 35-year-old woman and I make $100,000 and I got $50,000 in debt at night, what am I tossing and turning about? What am I worried about? What's going on in the media that can either hurt or help me? Like those are the type of questions you have to constantly ask yourself. Ask yourself about your ideal client, and it should be a running, long, breathing document within your business. I tell all my clients that like this should be a living, breathing document. So that way, when you have that day, and Katrina be like, "Okay, I want y'all to go live today," instead of you saying, "I don't know," grab your list.
We
It's over.
call it the marketing department. We call it
Yeah.
your marketing department is that notebook that
Yep.
has all of your information because this is what they did on day 2. They
Mhm.
created your marketing department to start writing all of their things down. And
Yeah.
like I said, um, Coca-Cola, they don't fire their marketing department after they do the campaign. That's an ongoing department.
Yeah.
So it has to be ongoing with you too. So that is so good. And then you said something else that we say too. I want y'all to type the word stalk in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Stalk. I'm like, y'all better stalk these people. And I said, not the creepy kind of stalk, because you gotta tell people, right? I'm
Yeah.
talking the stalk life. I believe this person is my avatar. Then I want to know, like, what are they posting? Who are they following? What are they doing? You know, like, how can I solve a problem for them and then be able to communicate that in my messaging?
Yeah.
So, what are some of the common mistakes you see people do when it comes to copy?
Not being clear on their ideal client, meaning so not good. There are instances where you can be a little bit broad but not being specific. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make, not being specific on who it is you want to work with, because some people, that I'm missing out on money. To be honest, you attract more people when you're more specific, because
Yes.
to other people they're like, oh, she or he really know what they doing over here, so I at least want to inquire to see if they're willing to work with me. You attract more
Mhm.
people when you're super specific. That's probably the biggest mistake. The second mistake is I see a lot of people talking so much about their process instead of talking about the actual transformation.
Oh
So
my gosh.
most people do not care how you're going to get them to the transformation. They just want to know that you can get them to the transformation. And think about it like this. If you called a trainer and the trainer said, yeah, I can help you lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And then the trainer be like, but you're going to have to do 100 burpees. You're going to have to run 5 miles. You're going to have to eat 3
I
green
don't want
juices.
it, bro.
Most people be like, oh, no, I'm straight. But once you
Yeah.
pay that money, you either gonna do what he say, or you're going to make like small adjustments based on your comfort zone, but you're committed at this point. So now that you made the commitment, you like, okay, his process is his process. I'm either gonna follow it or I'm gonna make adjustments, because we are human and we do that. But that's the second thing. People talk way too much about the process, and that can overwhelm people, especially depending on the problem you're trying to help them solve. Like if I hire you to do credit and you tell me up front I gotta write 50 letters, I'm good.
Right. I'm like, hold up. That wait.
I'm
Nah,
good.
see. Yeah.
So
And it's so funny that you're saying it because this today we talked about this today. I keep telling you, keep like, but I talked about it in regards to benefits and features, right?
yep.
We talk about people talk about all the features. I don't want to know what type of metal they use to create my phone.
Yeah.
I don't want to know, you know what I'm saying, what type of
You just want to know
plexiglass
that
is
the
on the
phone won't
inside.
break. Yeah, you
Yeah,
just want to know that the phone won't break.
that it won't break. Or I want to know that I'll be able to not miss my daughter's recital because I can FaceTime. You got what I'm
Yep.
saying? I want to know the benefit of me buying the phone, not all the stuff that's going on the inside that I would never ever see.
Yeah.
Right. So we literally talk about that this morning, you guys. So what she's saying, it coincides with us when we're talking about like the benefits versus the features type thing today. So that was so good, Sierra. What else you got for us today?
Another mistake is
Mhm.
um not having a clear call to action, especially when I see people like content, because I watch a lot of people that I work with content on purpose just to kind of get them feedback. But I see so many people assuming that their ideal client knows like what the potential next step is. So they'll do a sweet video, sweet reel, and there's like no call to action. Not even a call to action to get the people engaged. It's just like, so when especially with content, I feel like there's a couple different call to actions. You either want to get engagement, meaning you're going to ask people to comment, drop 100, whatever it is to get engagement. You're going to send them somewhere, or you're going to ask them to like it and share it. A lot of people are making great videos, but the captions don't really direct people anywhere else. So I think that's another huge
Mm.
mistake. Right? There's no call to action that gets your ideal client to move to the next step. And I think it's because people assume that people know, like, oh, well, yeah, they know to click in the bio. Well, no, I don't, because I'm trying to get to the next video anyway, or
Yeah, you
or
got to tell me what to do.
thing. So yeah, that's probably the third. That's for sure the third biggest mistake that I see when it comes to copy.
That's so good. I want y'all to put CTA in the chat. CTA, and that's call to action. And you got, that means you got to tell people what to do.
You
Tell these
definitely
people what to do. I told them the other day, I was like, why do you think they're, when you go to a very strategic or intentional sales page, you see buy, sign up, or join like 50 times before you
do.
get to
Hmm.
the end. At this point, you're like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and buy because I'm sick of y'all asking me to buy.
Right.
Let me just go ahead and buy, right? Um, but yeah, that was really good. So that there, especially that first one, not being specific and clear with who you're talking to, and I think people don't understand the magnitude of that because you have people who then attract the wrong people and
Hmm.
then get mad when these people are not a good fit, and
Right.
then you really get pissed off when these people be like, "Oh, I'm doing a chargeback." Well,
Yeah.
you asked for them anyway because you never made it clear in your
Yep.
messaging what type of person you were looking for and who you could serve.
And then want to, and too scared to say no. Like I feel
Mhm.
I've said no more this year and last year than ever, and it was definitely scary at first because in your mind you like, well, they got the money, but sometimes it's worth it to say no.
Yeah.
And but if you're not clear, it's easier to say yes. It's easier
Mhm.
to say yes if you're not clear. So that's why you got to get clear, like on your ideal client
Yeah.
for however many. If you got multiple offers, you need an ideal client for each offer.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this, because I know, like, again, you've worked with E.T., the hip hop preacher, you work with David Shands, you work with Marquel and Andre, you work with these guys that are like just killing it in the industry, right? So does that open you up to the wrong people like coming your way? I know you've been saying no a lot, but does that open you up just because they were like, oh, if she worked with them and they are this, you know what I'm saying, hit these goals, like, have you been attracting the wrong people unintentionally?
You know what? Ironically, I think most people who know me for working with them feel like they can't afford me. So ironically, most of those
Mm.
people be like, "Oh, we're not gonna afford you." And I'd be like, "Well, how much do you think it costs?" I'm just curious as to
Right.
what. So, let me see. I'm trying to think. Have I? I think I've been blessed not to attract too many of the wrong people. The no part came in between me changing business models. That's why I've been
Mhm.
saying no so much. So getting away
Oh, okay,
from
okay.
so many done for you clients and getting more like VIP day and coaching clients, which So that's where the no's came from me from. But I don't think I'm trying to think how many people have. There have been a handful, but that's like over the years, but not nothing crazy to where it's like everybody I enrolled this month was a bad fit. Luckily, I'm
Gotcha.
really thinking about it. Like, yeah, luckily, but I think it's because most people assume like they can afford it, which is crazy when they didn't be asked.
I mean, I can be honest. So, when we start working together and then you send me back your packages, while it was an investment, right? And now it
Mhm.
wasn't investment. Don't think it ain't an investment. It is. But
Right.
I was nervous and I did thought my investment was going to be way higher than what it was. And that, you got what I'm saying? Because,
Yeah.
like, again, you're working with people, and like you said, these people, you're helping them make millions
Hmm.
over the years, right? Legit helping to make millions over the years. So if you helping people make millions, then my mindset, it wasn't that you're just working with these people. That means you almost have like a proven track record of getting
Yeah.
things done. And so, in our industry, if I know what I'm doing, you got to pay me for it, right?
Yeah.
You got to pay me for what I'm doing. So again, it was a healthy investment. So that's not get it twisted, y'all. But it wasn't what I thought it would have been,
Yeah.
knowing all the people that she currently works with and have worked for during that time frame. So yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I was wondering. I wonder if she get these unrealistic people that come to her and be like, "Oh, I know you work with ET, so I want the ET package. Do for me what you did for ET."
It's very interesting. And I don't know if maybe that's a sign from God, but like pretty much even with some of like my higher tier services, people be like, "Oh, I thought it was gonna be more," and I'm like, "What? What? Yeah, think I'm about to charge you 50,000?" but
Listen,
it's interesting. It's very interesting.
no, I enjoyed what you did for me. Do you honestly? I still use a lot of the copy that you did for me, depending on what I'm doing, because I still have like communities. So a lot of the
Right.
copy you did for me, it was like recyclable because you created it in my language. You created
Mhm.
it just for me, and so I was like, "Whoo, that's so good." So, but I can't wait for a new campaign. I hope you don't tell me no when I come back.
No, no, it's certain people that I wouldn't even tell no to.
Oh, look at! I feel so special.
Drake called me yesterday, and I'm like, "What do you want, sir?" But
But now also too, now let me ask you this, because you are familiar with like our communities, you familiar with us as people, right? You
Mhm.
know kind of like how we get down, how we talk, about how we move within our communities. Is it easier for you when you're connected with somebody like that, or is the process still the same?
It's definitely easier because number one, here's another thing. I also make it a point to work with people who, like, I actually enjoy. What's the word I'm looking for? Like digesting their content. So it's
Okay.
like it's easy for me to sit down and like watch everything that every video Dre posts. It's easy for me to watch you on live. The process for someone who I don't know personally is still the same. The first thing I do is I dig into the content. So it's like, let me see how you engage. Let me see how you talk. Let me see what you're saying on your captions. If you got a YouTube page, going to watch that stuff. I always tell people, if you've spoken live before, like send me some of that stuff. But it's easier, and I'm starting to believe that it's, I don't know what category of gift, but I'm starting to believe it's a little bit of a gift because I can
It
hear someone
is.
one time and like throw like write something that they'll be like, oh my god, and all it would take is like just one time me hearing you speak, whether it's a panel, it don't even got to be a full keynote. I don't know, I hear things a little bit differently than the average person.
That is a gift. I'm sorry, Sierra. You have a whole gift. And I
Yeah.
think that's why, like, I really believe that's why, because you were investing in yourself and you was connected to the right people, like your energy drawed you to those individuals. Because
Hmm.
other people invest, and other people have, but that wasn't their path. And
Right.
so not only did you do that with David Shands, ET, Marquell, myself, what I'm saying? You have other clients too, to where that these people are doing some major things in the industry.
Hmm.
So to me, that is like a divine alignment, right? But it's also, I guess, because I believe what's on the inside of you, you
Mm.
know, it's on the inside of you. Because look, I be seeing you drop your preaching gems sometimes. I be seeing you.
That it'd be spirit led. I'd be like, all right, let me post this.
Listen, And that's one thing I love about y'all brands too. You're especially you guys with client attraction. Y'all don't play the radio. So look, if y'all don't want the real, if y'all ain't ready for straight talk, no chaser, do not head over there to the client attraction people. Cause I over here we say we not fake and we don't play the radio over here, but they really don't play the radio over there. That is how
No.
that's their culture, right? And so I love that in regards to the culture of that. Now, is that something that you talk to people about in regards to messaging and things like that? Do you help them communicate their values and beliefs and things like that within their content?
So I tell people it's best to be yourself. Like, especially depending on, because you'll hear people say like, oh well, it's things are oversaturated. I don't think things are oversaturated. I believe that people are recognizing that they have a problem now more than ever, especially in certain areas. So like you're seeing an influx of financial coaches, people who are doing credit, life coaches, personal development, mindset. I think people are just realizing that these are issues that they actually have. But the way to separate yourself is by being yourself. Like you have
Mhm.
a selective group of people that have already been assigned to you, but people feel like, oh, because I'm a life coach, I have to show up this way. No, your best bet is to show up as you and just
Mhm.
allow your people to find you instead of like, because it's hard work trying to be something you're not. Like that's more exhausting than anything. It's funny. I don't know how y'all feel about her, but it's funny. I listened to a podcast earlier. Jada Pickett Smith was being interviewed. I know everybody got they whatever,
Like,
but
sis, I ain't trying to be out in your business, sis. I'm okay. I'm good.
exactly. But she said something interesting. She said people don't understand how exhausting it has been to have to put on a show for 26 years. A
Wow.
show that you didn't want to be a part of after for so long. And it's exhausting to show up as somebody you're not that you're not, especially in the marketing sense. Cause it's
That's
like
good.
not every time you want to do a campaign, you got to try to put this front on instead of just showing up, as you are. So I think that's one of the best things all of you can do for yourself. Like be yourself. If you cuss, cuss. If you don't. I got a client. She go live every Tuesday. It's called bro. Is it on Tuesdays or Thursdays? It's called Rose with RJ. She's a therapist, has her own practice. She sips her rose champagne and does
Mhm.
her live, and her audience loves it. So we just
Mhm.
gotta remove that caring what everybody think. And it sound
Yeah,
easy. It's not, but it's gonna free you for sure.
definitely.
It's gonna free you for sure. So yeah.
Definitely. I was just talking to another AP yesterday, and she sent me a message because every time she starts communicating, she shakes basically. And I said, well, guess what? Let's add that to being a part of your brand, right?
Right.
And so I was giving an example, and I was using this example with my people. I'm like, you have this bottle, and you got, or just imagine this is a cup of coffee. And every time you go live, you're like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And all they see is this cup of coffee shaking. You know what I'm saying? And so guess what? You're gonna be the one, they can be like, wait a minute, the girl that be going live and she always be shaking. You be like,
Right.
yeah, that's her. Like
Yeah.
you don't understand that's a way to brand yourself. But more importantly, right? The whole thing is, hey, I'm shaking and I'm letting y'all know like this is something I'm trying to get over, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hiding it. I am not keeping it away from you guys. But what happens is the individuals are like saying, it's okay, girl, like we here
Yeah.
for you, like girl, I be getting nervous too. Like now your audience starts calming you down, your audience starts saying like I be nervous too, and now your shakes go down just a bit. But also now they feel like you are a human being. They feel like you're
Yeah.
not on here trying to be perfect. They
Yeah.
see like, oh God, like, wait a minute. And then now it went from you shaking to you guys having a full-blown conversation. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I been and took a cup of coffee on stage with me, and the cup of coffee gonna be shaking. I'm gonna be shaking everywhere. Okay.
Absolutely.
And
And
then guess
none
what? People are gonna be knowing you for that.
none of us are even the people doing seven figures. The people like that's another thing. I wish people like nobody has it all figured out.
Mhm.
Nobody. The biggest difference is some people just keep going until they figure it out. But even then there's something else to figure out. Like none of us have it all together. We just made a decision to figure it out. And that's what we're doing. And there
That's
are
all it
some things
is.
we mastered along the way that we do have the right to, charge people for and teach people. But there are some things that we're still figuring out. It's not gonna ever stop until the day we decide we quit.
Yes. So I want to go back to a question I kind of asked you, but I know we skated over just a bit in
Hmm.
regards to you now communicating your brand. Was it hard for you? And I know you said Andre
Oh,
pushed you,
so
you had the
hard.
right people. Like, was it hard for you to now put yourself on the forefront on Front Street? I know you speak on stages and things now. People are calling you all over the world. So congratulations.
Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
Praying for more of those opportunities next year.
Listen, listen. Okay, listen. If I bring you to Jacksonville, you coming?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Hey.
For
Okay.
sure.
All right, cool. So, because I definitely would love, for you to teach them copy. So, somebody asked a question in the chat. They was like, "Wait a minute, is copy like messaging?" So, I think they came on maybe a little late. But if you can tell them what copy is again in your own words.
Yeah, so copy is twofold. So it's the writing, any of the writing that you're using to articulate your value. So whether it's on your website, your captions, what you're saying in your content, emails, anything that you're putting out to the marketplace to articulate who you are, who you help, and what you do, consider that as copy. But like the actual wording of it. So it's messaging. Copy is just like the marketing term.
Yeah. Yep. So, it is the writing. See, the right community see you as human. They love on you good. Yes. Yep. I love it. And that's why. That's why. And that's what people don't understand. That's what true branding is.
Hmm.
People think that branding is logos and only websites and
Hmm.
colors and all of that. But branding is a lot of times what you see in yourself is a flaw.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's what you see in yourself that it could be the thing that allows you to stand out, but you may don't like it. Some people don't like their height, but I like my height now because when I walk in the room, I'm typically taller than most of the women. So you're gonna see me. Okay.
Right.
I didn't like how hard I used to walk, but now when I walk in the room, you're gonna feel me. You hear me? Right? So all the
I
things
know
I
that's
didn't like, I didn't like being tall. I didn't like how hard I walk. Like I used to always wear down the heels on my shoes because I always walk on my heels. So I'm always like boom and boom, boom. Not intentionally, but that's what it was. So I remember just trying to like change my voice, or I'm trying to change how hard I walk. I'm trying to wear lower shoes so I won't be so tall. And it was
yeah.
like, wait a minute. All the things I'm trying to change about myself and all the things I'm trying to shrink or suppress are simply the things that allow me to stand out and separate myself in any room, in any space. You know,
Hmm.
that's true branding, you guys.
It's
So
funny story about what you just said. And I at first I was like, I ain't gonna say it, but I feel the need to say it. So how you just mentioned like all those things you used to try to change that you didn't like. Most people do not believe me when I tell them that I literally used to hate my voice. So when I was a kid, my next door neighbors were some cruel adults, and I don't think they like was like it was just a neighborhood joke that my voice was a little deeper for a little girl. So they used to like make their voice deep when they spoke to me to kind of say that that's how I sounded. So for years, I would avoid public speaking, talking. I just hated hearing my voice. When I was in middle school, I got the opportunity to be on a radio show. And that was the first time somebody told me, like you kind of natural at this. But so then I get into copyright because I'm trying to be behind a computer. And now years later, like God is like, nah, I need you to. I literally just told somebody last week that I'm noticing the more I use my voice, the more opportunities I get.
come
So
on.
once again, the one thing we try to suppress is like, nah, like that's what you need to, to get to where you're trying to go.
Yeah, that is so true. And let me tell you what we have in common. What we have in common is I didn't like my voice either, and I didn't know why for so long.
Hmm.
And then now these people giving me a whole radio show, and I'm
Right,
like, wait, I don't want to hear my playbacks, okay? And you
right,
trying to give me a whole radio show? But what
right.
was so funny was, I remember taking some of our APs, I took them to Tampa for an event,
Hmm.
and I'm the host, right? I'm like, oh, I want y'all to come. These events be life changing, and blah 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 blah. And matter of fact, it was a weekend that you guys had in the client attraction thing where y'all do like a whole weekend thing. And
Okay.
some of the people I took was in their hotel room online with y'all for that weekend. It was so funny. But I took them to Tampa, and the lady was like, "Some of you guys are being held back right now simply because y'all have hidden things on the inside of you."
Mm.
Now, again, I'm the host, so I'm paying attention, but I'm making sure like everybody's good. Like this is this is good stuff for you guys. And when that
Right.
lady said that, and she was like, y'all need to open your mouth and ask God to show y'all any hidden things on the inside of you. And when I said that, well, I got a flashback to when I was in kindergarten.
What?
Kindergarten, Sierra. Yes. And I don't remember really half none of my teachers from school. I remember like one or two people, and this one teacher was one of them. And it's because I was in kindergarten, 5 years old, and this lady had laughed at my voice. And she talked about my voice. She said, at 5 years old, she said, Katrina, oh, I know that's Katrina over there with that deep voice. And the whole entire class laughed at me. And from that moment forward, I didn't like my voice. I always tried to change it, code switch, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got older, I was wondering why I was trying to low key self sabotage events. Like how you were saying, like, why y'all want me to speak? Why I'm going to
Yeah.
go? Da 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 da, right? And I used to be like, well, if I tell them I'm out of town, then I don't have to go. Or maybe if one of the kids are sick, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking things. I never did it, but I thought it, right? And it wasn't until that event to where I realized that was holding me back for 40 plus years. And so I had to like forgive this lady that I don't even know where she at. She
Right.
probably dead right now. Okay. I had to forgive this lady, but I also had to start embracing the gift that God has given me and
Yep.
embracing the voice he has given me. Like it's a real thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
It
So that we
is.
definitely have that in common.
Small things. Like it's the things we would never ever think of. Would never think of. But yeah, no, and so that's another one of the reasons why once I realized that, I'm like, no, any now what I'm not saying no is opportunities like this, like to use my voice. I'm like, no, I'm taking them all. I'm taking them all.
I love it. I love it. And what I love about this process too, and I'm sure you probably had to coach people too. Like even in this, you probably had to coach people on the side. Because they probably you didn't gave them the blueprint, you didn't did the work, and now it's time for them to do it and they ain't put it out because there's some type of something going on the inside of them that is stopping them from moving forward. You can get them the whole blueprint. They done
Mhm.
paid you and they're not pushing it out. Now
Put it
tell me
out.
about some of those experiences with people.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's been disheartening. It was really disheartening at the beginning, but once again, learning to take my emotion out of it and understanding that I can't really control that, but also doing a better job of helping them understand like that people need what they have and to empower them. Because people, what I realize is people don't have a problem with paying you; they have a problem with following through when it's their turn to follow. So it's like
Mm,
people will buy the course, will join the community, will watch the videos, but they will not execute for whatever reason. And that's for a myriad of reasons. Some people are really afraid of success. They'll never say it out of their
mm,
mouth, but some people are really scared because a lot is going to change. Like nobody, Katrina, I'm pretty sure you like nobody that's successful will tell you that things are not going to change. They are.
yeah,
It's just the way the cookie crumble. People who you love are going to start to feel entitled. You're going to have to tell them no. Y'all might
yeah,
get into it. Like and I think a lot of people are afraid of what happens when you do the $20,000 month, the $30,000 month, the $10,000 day. I don't think, especially people in our community, it's something we at one point could never fathom. And I think
mhm,
when people realize that they're that close to it, they're so comfortable with the hustling version of their business that they just want to keep doing that.
oof. If y'all just picked up what she put down, drop some dollar signs because it's a real thing. I'm
It's a
telling you,
real.
it's a real thing.
I mean, I experienced it my first probably 2.5 years of being in business. I would always get close, then I would just kind of self sabotage, and I'm like, what is that? And I started doing some digging, reading books, talking to coaches, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. That's
Yeah.
what she said. Get out my business, Katrina. But it's I don't no nobody that's really successful will lie to you and tell you, oh, everything's gonna be the same. No, it ain't.
It
No,
definitely isn't. No,
it's not
because
gonna be the same.
even the person you have to grow to be, even the person you have to
Yep,
grow to be, or
that
learn to be now that you have that, right? Because the
that part.
responsibility, people don't understand the responsibilities of what you have changes. And then the responsibility changes, especially now if you have to bring other people on and you're
Mhm,
responsible for other people's livelihood. You're responsible for paying people. You have a team. You're responsible for making sure that they get their check on time because their check is feeding their family. And then if you got a
mhm.
bad month, you're trying to figure out like, wait, hold up, how do I? It's a whole other thing. So
It's
guess what
it
happens?
is. Like you, even the simple concept of realizing, especially like, okay, let's just use an example of if you've always made 40 to 50K a year, and you start making 150, 200, 250 a year consistently, you can't even go to the same places you used to go to. You have something to lose now. So you're gonna move
Mhm.
differently. And the people
Mhm.
around you not gonna understand that.
Yeah.
And some of them not gonna like it. You're going to naturally move differently because you're gonna remember what it took to get there. And you shouldn't want to risk a night of fun. Your friend mad at you because you don't want to drive. You would rather get in the Uber. So now she calling saying you acting funny. Like those small things can,
Mhm.
make or break you. Not make or break you, but those are the small things that happen that people don't realize that come with success.
Yeah. Yep. And people getting their feelings faster.
Mhm. About
Like
your money.
you be like, well, hold up. How you feeling this type of way about the hard work I've done over the last 30 years? Like,
Like you mad because I want to take Uber Black. I didn't say you couldn't get in a regular Uber, but I'm not getting in there. It's
listen,
it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
yes. Precious says, how do you overcome self-sabotaging ways?
You got to do the internal work and realize that you're worthy, that you deserving, giving yourself grace. Because you have to believe that you deserve it, right? I think we self sabotage when we be like, because I used to do that too. I used to be like, I shouldn't really be charging them this. I don't got no degree, and then I would lower my price.
Oh, that's self-sabotaging, seriously.
Yeah. So like
Not
when I first started, I would do things like that. So and it took, the internal work of understanding what I was actually worth. And then learning how to keep your commitments to yourself. Dre
Mhm.
said something to me that will have forever changed my life. The highest form of self-love is discipline.
Wow.
That's it. You say you
There
love
you go with
yourself?
them bars.
Yeah. You
Look,
say you love
tomorrow I'm gonna be like Dre. Sierra said,
Yep. If you say you really love yourself, why is it you won't do what what you told yourself you would do? And it start with the small stuff. Like it don't have to be grand, but if you say you're gonna go for a 30-minute walk, go for the 30-minute walk. Because you'll be surprised what type of energy you get from keeping your commitments to yourself. Is it gonna be perfect every day? No. But just creating that habit of keeping your commitments to yourself, because
Mhm.
that's all self-sabotage is. It's making an excuse as to why you shouldn't be doing what you know you're supposed to be doing.
And when you really think about it too, you made that commitment to yourself for a reason. It's like you told yourself that self, I'm going to do this walk because you knew something on the inside of you told you that it was needed, it was necessary, it would
Yep.
benefit you in some type of way, right? So yeah, like why wouldn't you stay true to what you said you was going to do for you? So that definitely is good. That
That
deserves some dollar signs, y'all.
Yeah, that one I'm not going. There's a lot of things that I've heard, but that one, because I used to have a discipline issue. It was like, oh, I don't feel like it. But when Dre said that, I was like, oh, like
That's
that's the
good.
highest form of self love. Like, okay, well, let me see how much I really love myself.
Woo, that's good. Listen, I think that's gonna stick to me too.
Yeah, that one cut deep when he said that one. I was like, oh, my heart.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So this was so good. I can't believe it. Don't even feel like we've been on almost an hour, Sierra.
it don't. It
Listen,
don't.
I'm gonna have to catch me a flight. I'm gonna have to come up there to the D.
It's cold up here. I keep saying I need to get down there.
Listen. Oh yeah, listen, because our winters are not like yours. So
Yeah, nah, nah. I'm
let me
sure
ask, do
not.
you still have the plant? Do you still have you still got
I
what
do. So,
oh what's his name? What's
so
his name? George? What's his name?
Elliot, Elliot, and I still
Elliot.
use my thing you sent me. So Elliot, Steven passed away earlier.
Oh no, not Steven.
Steven passed. So I got Elliot and Issa. I need, yeah, I need to go plant shopping though. Elliot and Issa are still kicking.
No, it's too
I
funny. I
named
know you
my
was like, did this girl just send me a whole? I know you was looking crazy when I sent you that thing. Like, this girl just
and I
send me
was
a
like, this
whole.
is really cute. That was so cute. And my niece was using it to squirt water in her mouth. I'm like, girl, give me my plant water thing.
Oh goodness. I told y'all, listen, we have not officially met, but I can tell you this is my girl in real life. Nobody can't say nothing about her, period. But no, I appreciate you so much for joining us today. I really wanted to just really allow them to be introduced to the people that has helped me along the way. And you were one of those
Mhm.
individuals that poured into me, that connected with me. I mean, from the very first Zoom we had to now, being a part of some of my communities, showing up. And I just really appreciate you, Sierra. I really do.
I no problem. I take every opportunity like this. It's just honor. It's just crazy to me that people be asking me to talk, but I love it. I enjoy myself. You are one of the most authentic. Like I don't know if y'all. I mean, y'all probably know, but Katrina really cares about her people. Like it is not about no dollar for her at all.
Mhm.
If it was, she probably would have been left y'all on the. But Katrina really, really, really cares about her people, y'all, and it's bigger than making money. Like changing generations of families, especially as women. I don't know how many of y'all got kids, but as single women, or even if you married, like this, what we're teaching y'all, what Katrina's teaching y'all, can change an entire lineage. But it all starts with like saying yes to yourself. So yes,
Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She said really cares. Shirley would have left me, but she never has. I ain't leaving none of y'all. Y'all will leave me first. But no, and so I thank God for allowing us. We made it to day 10. So you are our day 10 speaker. So that was you.
today's the last day.
Yes. Now we do have a couple bonus days coming up. We do have a couple bonus days, but you are a day 10 speaker, and I believe that it was right on time. It was right on time.
I
And this is
appreciate.
so good. And thank you for co-signing. You didn't even know what we talked about these days, but
I
you
didn't.
definitely co-signed a lot of what we're saying. And so what I love about that is that they were able to hear it, in a different way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they heard it one way, now they heard it in a different way that could have, sealed the deal for them or hit home, that allowed them to make a true change, right? So I appreciate it so much. Now, what you got going on? How can they follow you? How can they find you? What you got coming out? Let us know.
Everything is at Sierra Say, Instagram, Facebook. What I got going on, it depends.
Mhm.
It really depends. I'm really enjoying VIP days right now, and I am finally working on a book that I'm planning to have finished by the end of the year.
Yes.
So yeah,
Now,
but
are you working with a CAU person with your book? Or are you doing it
I,
yourself?
I'm actually doing it. Well, I'm doing the writing process myself. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do publishing wise yet, though.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. If you know some people, please let me know. But yeah, I
Okay.
said I was just gonna write it first,
Mhm.
and then figure out the rest later.
Okay. And of course, if you need anything from me, I'm one phone call away. My number has not changed. I know we have other ways we be connected,
Okay.
but and I definitely will be getting with you when I'm ready for my next campaign. And so I
Love
appreciate you guys so much. Can we send a thank you in the chat for Sierra with
Appreciate
some
y'all
hand
for letting me come
claps?
on.
Huh?
I was just telling your audience, I thank them for allowing me on their platform.
Listen, because they don't trust everybody, okay?
Right.
Listen, you already know our APs, they be like side eyeing. They'll
Like
start
who you
side
say
eyeing
it
you.
was?
Yes, and so they say congratulations and
Thank
thank
you. Thank
you. All right, you guys. So again, this is day 10. Make sure you guys do your homework. You know what your homework was for tonight. Also, I'll be dropping a video inside of the group in a few minutes. It's already ready, so just be mindful of that for those of you who missed marketing mindset today. Also, I know we're on day 10, but do not forget we still are meeting at 6 a.m. because tomorrow is one of our bonus days. So do not forget. I will see you guys in the AM, and drop your homework. And don't forget, I did send you a survey. So make sure that you complete your survey tonight. Remember, we don't procrastinate. We don't procrastinate and we do not waste our time. So make sure y'all do that tonight, get it done so that we can continue to move forward and we can continue to serve you at our best. All right. You guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in the morning.
All righty.
Hold
I'm gonna jump
on.
on in the morning.